it's major. Yung ito yung update ko for about, nagmamadali ako. Hindi naman actually. So let's just take it slow. May mga aso. So I'm gonna share with you man. Bago dumating yung Zen, exit ko. Yung bago dumating ang Zen processors ng AMD, which is I'm really excited because I'm gonna buy soon. I'm gonna just update yung mga yung medyo cheap yet capable na gaming system, good for yung mga light games lang. League of Legends, Dota 2, CS:GO, Point Blank, Crossfires, SF, Overwatch, and other indie games. Pwede kayo mag AAA title, mga Witcher 3, GTA 5, pero medium settings to high settings, kayang 1080p, nasa 50s to 60 FPS. Depende sa paggamit niya ng VRAM and anti-aliasing na mga ng GPU na gagamitin, na isa-suggest ko sa inyo. Now, ito, unahin na natin ito para mabilis eh. So, yung sa case, I really don't, kayo na bahala. I don't really, it's your choice, it's your power but since this is a very budget-oriented case, let's just go with a nice power supply. Tandaan nyo, kung yung hindi lahat ng power supply na rin, wala siyang 80% yan. Pero ito meron, ito I think pero Corsair yung brand niya, hindi lahat ng power supply na ganito cheap naman, tsaka hindi nyo kailangan ng tawag dito. Kasi important sa power supply is yung branding as well as yung efficiency rating niya, and mababasa nyo naman yun sa hindi nyo kailangan ng, pwede rin Seasonic, pero we're just toning down a bit kasi this is a cheap build, not really cheap, yung very budget, low budget oriented build na kaya maglaro ng 1080p games at high settings. Yun, 60 frames per second pataas. Syempre 60 frames, kaya 60 frames kasi may mga game na medyo below 50, pero pwede, alam mo. Yeah. So ito yung bibiliin ko for the power supply is the Corsair VS450. Gamit ko yung mas mataas dito onte ngayon, yung VS550. Hanggang ngayon gamit ko R9380, gamit ko na 4GB version ng power color. Kayang-kaya yung graphics card ko as well as yung i5-6400 ko. No problem. So okay rin tong 450 watts. And also, yung 450 watts, meron siyang mga PCI Express connector, so kung mag-upgrade kayo in the future, kaya pa rin to basta yung hindi sobrang high-end na graphics card. For the case, let's just go with an example again. Kunyari, we're just gonna cheap it out to the case kasi you don't need that much of a case. Pero I suggest, kung gusto niyo maraming expansion slots and pag-upgrade in the future, mag-ATX kayo. ATX meaning yung standard size of the motherboard. So, ang ingay ng aso. So, just example lang to. Ito case ko, yung case ko, gamit ko ngayon. Example lang to, yung price point na to. It's a good case. It has many expansion slots, storage slots, as well as yung airflow, maganda, and may ganda cable management niya. Kahit pa paano sa likod, pwede nyo ayusin, may bulge siya, so hindi siya ganun. Very good. Now, moving on. Kaya, yung budget din na to, we'll be orienting ourselves around the new budget 2-core 4 threads. Para siyang medyo mahina onti sa i3 pero 4 threads. Bali para siyang 4 cores pero medyo weaker na 4 cores. Pero at least quad core, or para siyang quad core, we could do multitasking a bit. Yan. Ang bago nating G4560 at 3.2 GHz processor. Tama mo? 3.2 GHz. 3.5 yung base frequency niya. It has 2 cores, 4 threads. It's like an i3 but a weaker version. But since this is a newer generation Pentium, it's very good. It has higher instructions per clock compared to previous Pentium like the G4560. It has it has 4 threads. So you could stream or pero mga 720p medium settings lang. You could stream or local record your gameplay as well as other stuff. It's really low power, 54 watts, and it supports these RAM sticks. So DDR4 tayo nga. This is a new bago na 2017. So we'll add this to the cart. Next we'll have the motherboard. Sa motherboard, tawag dito, sabi nila pwede rin yung tama nga sila, pero kailangan nyo ng BIOS update pag gagamitin nyo yung mga 6th generation board. So okay lang din, pero for the sake of para build na para safe na, hanap tayo ng medyo mura na B250 kasi para hindi na kayo, pag hindi kayo marunong mag-update ng BIOS or something, let's just go with this, the cheapest, the gigabyte maganda rin naman yung brand ng Gigabyte and same lang yung stuff nito. Ang difference lang nila features, iba-iba yung firmware, software, pero same lang yung function nila. You don't need higher end motherboards unless mag-overclock ka, and you're not gonna overclock with that CPU, and you don't need multi-GPU, so okay na to. And it supports DDR4 RAM. Kung tama ako. Tama ba? Yes. Unbuffered easy. Okay, so meron tayong motherboard. Next, we're gonna go to the RAM. Because RAM. So DDR4. Actually, example lang to. Kung may mahanap kayo mas cheaper, medyo same, and kung trip niya yung design, so go for it. Binibase ko lang sa DynaQuest kasi ito yung parang isa sa pinakamura sa Pilipinas. And while looking at this video, price may fluctuate, so be on the lookout. So, yan, yung pinaka-cheapest nakita natin na single stick ng DDR4 2400MHz. Kasi ito yung supported ng mga bagong motherboard ng Intel. We'll go for this one. Bakit single stick ng 8GB? So, you can upgrade to 16GB in the future. Or, wait, ilang slots ba yun? Yung motherboard na to. It has 2 slots lang, so you can upgrade to maximum 62. Pero kaya niya 32GB maximum if you want 1616. But you don't need that RAM. Much RAM unless nag-edit ka ng videos. Kasi kailangan mo yung para i-store habang nag-edit ka yung basta RAM. Ang hirap i-explain. Next time, no? So, meron na tayong RAM. Now, we're going to the eto. Kung sanay okay lang sa inyo na hindi masyadong snappy yung system niyo, yung regular lang, parang nakita niyo sa com shop, etc. Kung wala pa kayong system na to, okay lang mag hard disk drive muna na 1TB. Or, ito, ganito sabihin ko sa inyo, kuha na kayo ng SSD, panglagay nyo lang lalagay nyo lang yung OS sa SSD nyo para sobrang bilis mag-open yung computer nyo. At the same time, yun, in case lang naglalaro kayo ng Dota 2 or LOL, para hindi kayo mawala niya, namatay yung kuryente, pero nagbumalik ulit. Mabilis siya mag-loading sa OS, mabilis mag-load lahat. Doon nyo lang lalagay yung OS, yung mga important games nyo na gagamitin nyo. So, we'll go with the cheapest muna. Pero okay lang din tong A-data, depende sa inyo. Pero since suggestion lang to, yung 120GB of SSD is okay na siguro for this budget build. And tsaka kung mahilig pa kayo mag-download ng mga anime, ganun, may kuha na lang kayo ng hard drive na ganito 1TB or mas higher kung may budget kayo. So now we're gonna go, meron tayo, anong kulang na lang dito? May power supply na. Ang kulang na lang dito ay ang graphics card. So ang graphics card natin pipiliin, depende sa preference nyo. Ako ay anything basta maganda and maganda yung price. Since maganda naman yung mga GPU, yung AMD ngayon, except yung mga sa higher end, mga mid-range, we could choose either Nvidia side or the AMD side yung alternative. So for this price point, gusto lang natin yung minimum yung budget natin. Either this medyo yung mas mura to, itong Sapphire ng RX 460 or itong Palette or Zotac, depende sa inyo. Pero yung cooler lang naman difference, no. Ito is either this one or this one. Somewhat they have similar performance and they don't need yung power connectors, and okay siya sa mga games na yung LOL, Dota 2 with CSGO, blah blah blah. 1080p, ibig sabihin ng 1080p again, sorry dito. Ay, nag-LOL ako. I'm Diamond by the way. Yung 1920 by 1080 resolution niya, if you're playing at this resolution, super na yun. Ito, it can handle those games at max settings, or hindi pa rin yung i-high lang at one step below para medyo may frames kayo, mas mataas yung frame rate niya. Flawlessly, not really flawlessly, very so it would suffice, sakto na to para doon. So either these two, so sabihin natin ito, so it will total up to 21 to 22 depende kung saan kayo bibili, either sa IT Gilmore, DynaQuest, Makati, Manila, or sa Ortigas, or sa Supat branch. PC Express medyo mataas on yung presyo sa iba pero mas mura yung RAM doon. So nasa 20k to 24,000 yung itong PC build nito. So let's go over all the parts in the system. Wala pa tong OS, monitor, keyboard, and mouse. So assuming na system lang kayo, mag-upgrade lang kayo ng system, or wala talaga kayong system, then later in the video I could recommend something yung to pair it na budget lang oriented. So meron na kayong power supply, VS5450, good. any case you want, kayo bahala sa case. The G4560 is a dual core yet 4-threaded processor, so it's considered a quad core in sa system sa OS. The B250, to be honest, kung nag-H110 kayo, medyo bababa konti yung presyo niya to 19k, pero you'd have to update the BIOS. So I chose this na lang para plug and play na lang kayo. And 8 gigs of RAM, yung kailangan natin as gamers ngayon, merong standard na yung 8 gig. 4 gig pwede pa, pero mas okay na yung 8 gig para may headroom kayo. DDR4 2400 MHz. Yung CL15, okay na yung latency ng time niya. And yung timings pala ng RAM. An SSD muna, but you can change again, like I said, to this kung gusto niyo na may storage over yung speed. So ganun din yung price, medyo mag-ataas onti ng ilang daan. And lastly, the graphics card, either Sapphire RX 460 or itong GTX 1050, which has similar performance, yet preference is yours. Ito may mga program yung AMD na nabago if you want to record nga, para siyang Nvidia Shadowplay is the AMD Relive. Very good at recording yung mga gameplay nyo at depende sa power ng CPU nyo rin. Pero I mean, sa GPU na siya mag-record, hindi na sa CPU, so it can help while gaming. Hindi na siya mag-performance degradation habang nag-record ka. So this is AMD Relive. I'm showing you lang gusto ko ng 1080p at 60 frames, and ito lang yung format ko at the moment kasi old generation yung akin, and at 5 MB bitrate lang. Pag nag-streaming din kayo, may plug and play server, pero next time na to. So ayun lang, thank you for tuning in sa another updated 2017 budget build ko. Low entry level somewhat ito, yeah, okay, tama. And thank you for watching and see you next time.